Uh, uh, oh yeah. Party time. Come on, Barbie. Let's go party. Today, we are going to talk about the original Rager, the first party that were ever thrown. That is festivals. We are going to be diving into the originations, celebrations for many, 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 many different nations. We are going to be talking about festivals. Humans have an innate desire to celebrate and to want to be celebrated. So we are going to dive deep, deep, deep into the waters of partying and festivals and celebrating. And we are going to look at what makes a festival a festival. Sorry, before I get into a tangent, I want to stick with what I originally was talking about. And that is my intelligence, which is non-existent or very hard to find. To saying, I am a bit of a word nerd. I really like the study of etymology, which is not the study of bugs, but the study of words. And today, as we are talking about festival, it actually starts from a Latin phrase, which is always my favorite. And this Latin phrase is festival dia, which literally means like festival day, which was used to refer to any sort of religious ceremony. Getting back to the word gala, it comes from the word gila. I might have put a pop in there when I wasn't supposed to, but you know my new Hulk mouth just kind of gets away from me sometimes, and it has an apostrophe in the word, so it might not be a glottal, but it is an apostrophe, which my language treats as a glottal, or our language if you're watching this. But yeah, so it is KHI apostrophe LAS, or LA, Kila, which is an honorific term for the word honor robe, or something that you would wear in respect or honor for a certain sort of event, and it became linked and merged with the word festival in the late 18th century. Continuing on my session of nerding out, I would like to talk about a little bit of some of the aspects of what a festival is. Like I said earlier ago, just about 20 meters down this trail, it is literally derived from something that means religious ceremony or religious event or religious day. As festivals and people start to evolve and change, everything is a product of the times. So you will often notice things change due to the direct influences of that area, while trying their best to maintain their own local identity. That is actually called glocalization, which has nothing to do with a gun. It actually is globalized or localized globalization. It actually stems from a Japanese word, which I am not going to pronounce because reasons. Taking old Japanese fruits, trees, plants, their sort of land that they work with, and then taking Western or global ideas and integrating the two. So you will notice that a lot of festivals will try to, like I said, hold on to their local identity while also being a part of the larger global world. Furthermore, to talk about festivals, you kind of have to talk about why people did it. I talked a little bit about it back there in very shallow detail. But basically, at this point of the trail, I would like to quickly talk about religion, military, and agriculture, which were the three major types of festivals until arts festivals became super popular. And because anything that gave you fulfillment that was given to you, you would try to honor that or uphold it. And I still think that is true to this day. Of course, with things like the Bella Coola Music Festival, and all the different festivals that you can find within just British Columbia, but also Canada, and even furthermore, America. No, I'm not talking about a certain presidency or a certain regime. I am talking about before technology. The major things that the people, the powers that be, would use festivals for is to maintain the status quo of those unable to obtain power. You have to be able to give the people a little bit of what they want so they don't know what they really need. Speaking about keeping the status quo as it is and making sure that the lowest rank of society feels uplifted in some way or form in the shape of festivals actually comes from the Romans, which of course was stolen from the Greeks, which is everything the Romans have ever done. And that is a festival called Saturnilla, which, if you didn't know, Saturn is the Roman equivalent to the Greek Titan Kronos, who was the father of Zeus and Poseidon and Hades and Hera and the other primordial gods that make up the Olympic pantheon. And this is what many historians believe to be the basis or the foundation of how we now celebrate Christmas and New Year's. Originally, though, it was basically a week-long festival of the purge, where you couldn't get away with like the really like murder or like thieving and stuff like that, but all of the political movements in the state of Greece or Rome, I guess not state, but the countries of Greece or Rome would completely cease. Gambling would be made legal. And one thing that I found very, very interesting was, so we're not going to pretend that, slaves didn't exist. It's an awful, horrible part of our history, the way that sort of caste system was formed and forged. But in the Roman Empire, this 1 week out of the year, the slaves would be allowed to attend lavish parties that would only be privy to their masters, and they were given a elevation in status quo, so that all year round they could look forward to this one time of year where they didn't have to work, where they were given the same amenities that their masters were given. And so that is one of the big reasons why Saturnilla was such an important part of the Roman and Greek histories, I guess is the way to put it. If you can keep the people happy and satisfied with bread and circuses, they'll never be aware of the atrocities going on outside their walls. And just because I actually did do, it may not seem like it, but I do a lot of research for these videos, and I would like to display as much of my knowledge as possible. To say that I did look into the Mevlana Festival, which in English can be called the Festival of Whirling Dervishes, which is a homage to an old, I don't want to get his nationality wrong, but an old poet. And the festival takes place in Turkey. The whole basis behind it is that they put on these like really fancy like cone hats and flowy robes, and then they just, like that Flow Rider song, right round or whatever, but they just spin and flip and whirl and dirl and unfurl. And the reason it started is because Rumi, the one who they are honoring, one of the greatest poets from this section of the world, thought there are 1,000 different ways to be close to Creator or to God, if that's what you want to call him. And the way that he found most effective is to create things, to make things, to sing and dance for nobody but you and Creator. For nobody but you and